See, you color coded. Oh yeah, I never even saw that part. Oh, I heard about that. Oh yeah. You color coded deposition transcripts like you were submitting a crayon-based art project to the ABA. See, crayons can be dangerous. That's why I don't use them. I just eat them. And let's not pretend this was strategy. It was play. Yes, just like those death throes.
Windscale, the pride of Britain, nestled in the picturesque Lake District, the state-of-the-art atom plant has transformed this rugged landscape into the envy of its northern neighbors. Scientific progress waits for no one.
The public has nothing to fear.
The area will be reopened by Christmas at the latest.
The situation is more complex than was at first understood.
No military expeditions into the area have been lost. Where did you get such an idea?
Perhaps by next Christmas.
Oh, no more reconnaissance flights. The interference field is bringing down aircraft like clay pigeons.
Let me be clear. Our experts are monitoring the situation, and I would urge everyone to remain calm. The situation in Cumberland is well in hand.
Then weapon report. Fucking transcript. Double shot.
Is anybody there?
The bonus
I need help.
Ground the tree.
Who are you? What are you doing in here? I thought this place was secure.
You didn't just...
Where's Dr. Powell?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. That motherfucker. You rip lines from context like a TikTok conspiracy theorist and include into your motion. That ranks. See if we think this is right. Yes.
For the moment, at least, it's more important that you listen to me.
Threaten you. You got frustrated being
I don't know who you are, but I can trust you more than I can trust myself. Please listen. Listen, while my thoughts are still my own. You're trapped in the quarantine zone around the Windscale atom plant. That's where it all went wrong. The only way to Windscale is through the interchange. You'll need my key card, or you'll never get in. There are people. Oh, God. People who will help you escape, but they won't do it for free. I've lost so much blood.
That order wasn't a fluke.
I can't think straight. There should be supplies nearby. Alcohol and rest. Stop the bleeding, please.
This. I get a lawyer for 20 years.
It hurts like the devil.
So, who's lying about you think tenure mean scrutiny? You think experience is excuse throwing forth duplicative tantrums on the dollar instead of one coherent argument? That's not seasoned counsel. That's delusion for the rest of you. You weaponized emotions for sanctions.
Such a stupid, careless mistake. He was ambushed by one of those bloody thieves. Outlaws, they call themselves. Suddenly got Dr. Powell.
And you genuinely seemed shocked when the judge finally said, enough. You accused yourself of talking about you were the one part of the recycled legal vomit.
I know that's wrong.
Your latest violins are so tonal. They make Nickelback lyrics look like constitutional theory. Throw it in there. You knew the judge's orders. Or never. You knew your conduct had already raised eyebrows. And what did you do? Well, I think it's debatable. Filed another boilerplate tantrum, trying to make, but Randy, me too. Your defense. You take the court's patience and first on to like it owned you rent. Like it owned you rent money. With my money, bitch. Because now we're headed for April 3rd. And what was a fishing expedition for sanctions that's turned into a main event. course, taking facts in person, checkbook in hand, explain should be sanctioned.
Very well. I'm hardly in a position to negotiate. What matters most is that the truth gets out.
This isn't procedural.
Here's my key card. It will get you out of here and into the interchange. It doesn't matter what else happens. As long as the truth of this place gets out. Here are my notes. Everything I remember. It's not much, but it's all I can do. You better get out of here before my condition gets any worse. Just go. Go, damn you!
Shows up here on April 3rd, 2025.
The interchange holds the truth. You must not forget. It's important.
Pay attention. Congrats. Oh, you got it. Now the judge isn't just looking at your findings. He's looking at you. The big fish you thought you were chasing. It's turned. Sanctions. You should have quit while you were behind. You should have stayed in Albania, wherever the fuck it was that you were.
Be on your guard.
You got his mail and
Everything is a threat.
So bring it, Lucy. Bring that tired script. Bring your pen, your color-coded tantrums, and every buzzword lady footnote you can muster. Because on April 3rd, the bench is done being patient. And the bill for your bullshit is due. This is what we litigation. Motion with legal gas on the fire. Our little monk. You doused yourself and ran into the courtroom screaming, "It's the other guy!" Oh. I think he likes to get pissed on, so maybe that's what he's hoping for. Maybe so. Big like that. You want attention, Brucey? No, you got it, motherfucker. But now the curtain's closed now. The spotlight's turned. And all that's left is a federal court ready to drop a hammer on your ankles. The party's over, folks. Bring your checkbook. Respectfully, disrespectful. Chizzy Wisnet. Clerk of the chaos. Lord of laughs. And still your daddy. Oh, yeah. Read those. I don't know what happened last night, but I went to try to go back to like 2 and watch our transcripts, and then I had to leave, and then I went to think, come back, and it said, oh, the live chat in the stream is
That daft suit of yours must be filling up with blood by now.
I didn't have it.
Let's just finish things.
Oh, is that what it is? That's my fault. I take the blame for that. It was. Let's make sure that's on tonight. It is on tonight. It is on tonight. I definitely want to go back and see what the cat's saying about this shit. Yeah.
Japanese are loving this stuff. They find this the most glorious stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I just I'm not just trying to do it. I just.
Off with you, or you'll regret it.
I'm like that.
I'm gonna have you, you bastard!
All right, I'm gonna show you really quick what I was talking about in this, because it's very important that I explain this in the most difficult way that I can possibly do, because
Steve wrote. Without doubt, I have been very clear about that from the beginning. Do I have facial radio? I make children weep when they're screaming at me.
and he is literally scared grown men out of their pants.
Well, hey, you need to rephrase that.
Well, I wasn't the one running around as a headless horseman.
Okay. No. Intake is not the.
So here's what that is talking about. If you watch, it starts out simple, and then he just fills up every single thing with with highlighting all of this stuff. Okay? Yes.
Fucking.
Oh no.
What is it? 300 and some odd pages of scribbling bullshit.
Well, and here's the thing. He's just going. He's got
a lot of the colors of the rainbow in there.
Let me pull this thing out right here. And I'll just point this one out right here. Well, this is me endeavoring to make the remainder of the deposition productive, and if so, and Randy says, if you want to go off the record and discuss this, he says, no, this is particularly for the record, not that this is, you have not controlled your client. Your client has gone on many tirades, and you're indecipherable. Shockingly bullshit. And he says, hey, Mr. Shockett, may I speak? He says, no, I'm getting the magistrate on the phone right now, on the record. Hang on. Because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. He just kept on and on and on and on and on. And every time that he would say, listen, I'm just going to call the magistrate because you cannot contain yourself. This is what Drucker asked in court. All this shit right here that he's bitching and his out. Because there's at one point in time he misquoted what Jeremy had in his affidavit. He wouldn't complete what the note was. It was all that shit right there that he's going to be bitching about in this next document. No, you think I've done 324 pages of him going through and highlighting and entering it in as an exhibit. Okay? 324 pages of him highlighting shit and putting it in the exhibit. You know how space scares me. And space voice gets a bit there. You can double that stuff.
I like this one. This one's yeah. Now he's trying to run. John was Yami Biker in the water? Well, I was a stand-in, but they thought I was too authentic. So.
That's awesome. So this next document that he filed is another motion to dismiss, except he does this under FRC 41. So he has to throw the sanctions in there because he's supposed to have That's why he keeps throwing this shit in here. Counsel threatening sanctions casually as a matter of course has no place among officers in court. You haven't even drafted this threatened motion that would require you to do some research into which you will see that you were wrong, unless your conduct on display your threats to civility and professionalism on which the rules in court require to resolve disputes. Should I read that again? What he says, this is what Randy Shockett says. He says, son, counseling and their threatening sanctions casually or as a matter of course has no place among officers in the court. You haven't even drafted this threatened motion that would require you to do some research here and so that there what you see that puts you wrong. Thus your conduct on display here threatens this here civility and professionalism on which the rules of the court rely to resolve disputes. Now, see, Bruce thinks that he's being all big on shit by filing this and putting this as a pretext because, Randy's just like, listen, dude, you're wrong. And you're threatening sanctually, you're threatening these sanctions. And if you keep it up, I am going to come back and I'm going to hurt you. Now, this is also, note the date, November 11th, 2024. Okay? The court's order in which Doc 43 was precipitated by the deposition of plaintiff on December 2nd, 2024, which the plaintiff spent most of 5 hours going on lengthy, non-responsive tirades. Okay, so what he's talking about is the deposition in which he was being an asshat, asking questions that were irrelevant to anything to do with this. And Jeremy answering the questions as he was asking those questions. if you don't believe me, you can go back and you can read the deposition yourself. It has been filed with the court. It is clearly there. You can read through the whole thing. So that way you don't take it out of context. Unlike a couple of fat chicks that can't stop smacking their gums on fucking screens. Sorry. It's disgusting. It sounds like they're eating the fucking Krispy Kreme donut factory.
I've heard that in a couple of clips. It's like, seriously? Well, I got medical fucking, no, the only medical problem you have is you can't stop bending your fucking elbow and shoveling shit down your fucking gaping maw. That's fucking.
He was responding to the undersigned's email concerning the plaintiff's initial disclosures. Thank you. I see there are no damages calculated. She filed this lawsuit. But now, see, you have to understand that what he's bitching about right in this filing. What he's bitching about right here is that he's saying you filed this lawsuit before you were prepared to give any expert opinion or anything else to support it.
Not saying you were on this church before.
You offer to withdraw your entire lawsuit.
How do?
Because
Where did you come from then?
You have to understand that Randy's response was right here. Counsel threatening sanctions casually over
must have
the
taken
matter
a knock on the noggin or
no
something.
place among officers
Still,
of
you
the
look in
court.
decent fettle now.
You're
Listen,
in a lawsuit
don't
and
mind
we are
mercy,
not settled.
You don't look
That
much like a
is
local.
what he wanted.
You didn't walk in from from the outside.
You're right. Steve, no. We've said this before.
You what?
If I'm saying shit like this...
Boffins all died when their atom plant went up in flames. Not seen any of them for 5 years. Only outlaws and loons round here now. You'll want to give them all a wide berth.
Yes,
You poor bugger. You can't remember now, can you?
Especially when, like I said, my experience back home, seeing and dealing with
this place, the quarantine zone. That's what the soldiers called it.
It is ceaselessly amazing.
Just sort of stuck after a while.
But you have to laugh.
It's this big old chunk of land inside the
Even when you're
walls.
dealing with
They put those buggers up fast enough when it all went to clagging here. Your name's Nat, by the way. Forgive me being curious.
And so
Strangers.
when I get
This place
animated
been off for years.
a lot of people like that.
There's been strange happenings. You have to be careful who you trust. No civilized round here anymore, just savages that roam about. And a few survivors, like myself.
Yes. If I get like that, then potentially have something. As long as I'm just spewing
Things have been
bullshit
bad
I do
ever
and
since the
throwing
government
myself
built that
into
plant across the water. Shady, secret stuff them scientists were up to. Whatever they were doing, they were right keen to bury it when it went wrong.
Serious. I've heard Gilmore get angry. Maybe
Listen,
once or twice, and it gets
I overheard them
really
once,
fucking quiet.
the blokes in
You know
muddy
you
suits,
screwed up, and
the
you're
ones that
going,
appeared right after the disaster, talking about their quarantine.
Yeah, I'm just
How
gonna,
they
I'm
had to
just gonna
seal
walk
the
away
place.
now before
Said something
before
about
we get
an interchange, a secret project.
I'm gonna let it cool down.
But I should stop talking before I get carried away. Now personal.
Keep us safe with laughter.
I'll be a right
That's the
talk
point.
sometimes.
It's all about it.
It's what they chucked me up the village for, the buggers.
You know, Shizzy going through and doing his literary magic here, and then me coming in, whatever reason, you gotta like bring me out the story. And we just have to come in here and have fun. Yes, you
So
do.
long.
You have to laugh about that.
What's yourself around here,
and people sit there, you know, go through these trials or whatever, some of things. There's a lot of times where I don't make comments, you know, especially when we're talking about, well, like the one earlier on, no, there's a lot of things that I could have got off about that shit. For those who don't know and have no experience and get all butthurt about, oh, could you laugh about this stuff? Oh, you know, you think you have to. Yes. The jokes that have been made while we're in the middle of running a code, somebody who's been burnt, blown apart, shocked, you make jokes.
Yes. It's to take your mind off of the tragedy that you're dealing with right now.
I mean, that's just the reality of it. It's not something that can be explained. I can't explain it then, but either you get it, you understand it, or you don't.
Yes.
That's all there is to it.
So, of course, Bruce has to give his little information insult here. expressly requested that it is done by the undersigned on fourth specifications for his refusal to having the counter effect of encouraging and emboldening the plaintiff to escalate his abuse of the deposition in the undersigned. Basically, he's trying to pull up his college work again. The copy of that is filed as an exhibit with this motion, and I color-coded as follows for these sterling. So I've got green, which are tirades and unfun, yellow, which is non-disposed, red, direct threats my plaintiff to Mr. Manskin, and blue, Mr. Sackett refusing to control his plaintiff. And you forgot the white, all the shit that you left out that puts it in context. Yeah, this is mind-boggling. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. He actually filed this with the court. He actually filed this with the court. So again, this is why I eat friends. I don't use them because they can be dangerous. Yes. He said, name-calling, personal attacks, and obstructionist behavior has no place. And this is from the court's order of Doc 43. The document, and let's just put this into perspective, okay? Document 43 is after the deposition. Okay? Document 43 is after the deposition whenever he dragged both their passes to fucking Pensacola. And he said, we are continuing the deposition. Okay? Now, all of this crap that he throws out here, I actually had to sit down and create a chart. So instead of reading all through that, would you like me to just put my analysis here for this? I even put little pins on it to make it more enjoyable.
Don't you go
So
asking for trouble
all
or
of
you'll
his
get it.
bullshit that he just filed, I broke it down really simple. Okay? I broke it down really
Steady
simple
now.
for him.
We'll have no
Here's his
strife.
plan. Hales went on lengthy, non-responsive tirades.
You'll die here.
Well, the context here is Jeremy Hales repeatedly states that he needs to refer to broader context.
Hales!
I look at him to explain his answers. For example, when pressed to isolate words in paragraph 7 or a footnote that constitutes extortion, he responds that the meaning can't be distilled from a single line, as it requires context of the full situation. This is framed by Manskin as Hales refusing to answer and being non-responsive, rather than acknowledging Hales' reasoning that certain allegations require holistic interpretation. In other words, you said you forgot the footnote. You said it multiple times. Bruce wants to use that as a way of saying, you're not paying enough attention to. You're not answering my question. You've got a lengthy, non-responsive shouting tirade. We go on. Here's another claim. Docket refused to even attempt to use spraying nails. Same document, 1217, page 1. Context. At one point, Manskin complains about Hales calling him names, and Docket responds, do you have another question? Otherwise, I will let talk. This does not constitute encouragement of misconduct, but standard deposition found in study of court handshake. That's pretty clear? Another claim. Plaintiff made direct threats to Manskin. This is document 117, page 2. Context. Much of Hale's passionate tone stems from defending himself against repeated accusations. For instance, when Manskin asked if there were more statements from Preston or Cook beyond the signs accusing him of rape, Hales repeatedly says he would need weeks to go through all the data to confirm or deny this, rather than making threats. Claim, Shawkins and Hales emboldened misconduct. Document 117, and again, he's bringing Docket into this lawsuit. He really wants Docket to resolve this lawsuit. Oh, you want Docket there. Exactly. Context. Second, attempting to maintain procedural flow, even instructing Hales when to stop or continue responses. Docket does object occasionally to the form of the questions, but does not appear to intentionally allow or provoke Hales's behavior. Claim, statements paragraph 27, supports threats to extort. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Context. Manskin presses Hales to identify specific words in the complaint about alleged sexual photos as threats to extort pecuniary advantage. Hales states these were false statements and leaves it to a judge or a jury to determine whether they meet the legal standard. His reluctance to label them definitively doesn't prove bad faith. It shows layperson hesitation in legal interpretation. Another claim, defendant's conduct was never questioned. Manskin insists he was unfairly grouped into the misconduct admonishment in Doc 43, yet the transcript reveals several contentious and escalating debates on both sides, including Manskin repeatedly interrupting, editorializing questions, and making inflammatory remarks, behavior the court reasonably sought to check across all parties. Summary. Many of the passages Manskin flags as misbehavior or support for sanctions are actually contested moments in a heated deposition, with both sides engaged tensely by cherry-picking snippets and stripping them of context. Manskin's motions mischaracterizes tone and intent, especially regarding Hale's frustration, and Shockett's attempts to maintain control. Because in all of this, he was maintaining control. Shockett was maintaining control through all of this. He wasn't misbehaving, he was acting appropriately. If Jeremy was getting heated, he was getting pissed off, look at the context of it. Look at the context of the questions that he's asking. You called CPS before your hands are on last year, all right. How many times have you called CPS? Your mandatory child report. Oh, that's right. You don't care. You don't care. You want fame for macaroni and cheese. So my person the other kid.
And you see, and I get it. Yeah, I mean, you get pushed into a corner, you get pushed into a corner. These things are very emotional things.
And he says not multiple times.
Yeah, and the aggregate of everything. Just the process in and of itself. And then you're in a deposition cross on this shit guy who's been saying specifically the public. So he's online on an email saying all kinds of shit. And he himself, we have to go back and find him. I don't have the correct quotes, but he himself basically saying, yeah, I don't really give a shit about him. I don't really give a shit about him. Blah, 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 blah.
No, I want to destroy.
Right.
I want to destroy him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's out there?
I mean, let's put this in context. Here's the question. Are you aware? I'm not telling you to name them or tell me the nature of the information. I'm just asking a yes or no question. Are there any other individuals that you're aware of who shared information with your counsel that you intend to use as evidence in court? Yes or no? And Randy says that's work product. Don't answer that.
Stay back. What are you doing in here?
Put it in
Who knows what might have followed you in?
context here. You're saying what I said, which is the same thing you're doing. And here's the question. I mean, you have to go. This is the problem
You haven't attacked me.
with these
Well,
fucking
that's
laws
something, I suppose.
is they're cherry picking
if you've a
what
question
they
about
want
these
to
caves,
get out of this
I can help.
deposition.
I don't know much about how else, though.
Posting it
Supplies,
as if it's
trade,
some sort of big
if that's what you're
revelation.
after.
Like he never read the deposition. Like he wasn't there. He completely ignored every single damn thing that was said.
Well, and you see it in those clips, right? When
Yes.
he's on with the useless turds or whatever else, and he goes through and then directs it. No. Skip through all that other stuff. Just read what I highlighted. whatever he wants to bring forth, whatever it is that in his view bolsters their narrative.
Well, and I mean,
which is a hat right, which goes back to what I said before. Every time these fuckers open their top washers, drag their booger hooks across the keyboards, they're lying. Half-truths are lying. When you are trying to sweep shit under the rug, oh no, don't look at this over here, look at the shiny thing over here, you're trying to misdirect. It's all fucking lying. Every fucking time.
Well, and it's very obvious, because and I'm not suggesting anybody do this, I'm just pointing out the obvious here. If you go onto their channel and you actually question them about where the money went, if you ask them where's the money, they'll say, oh, well, we've got the receipts, but unless you're going to donate, we're not going to show you where that money went. Unless you did donate and you say, I did donate and I want to know where my money's going, they'll bang you from the channel.
And they shit all over you anyway.
Exactly. And this is exactly the kind of way that they react, because if you can't answer those kinds of simple questions, like where is this money going that you've been raising, all this money that you're raising for this child that you're claiming is for the safety of the child. This child has become their shield, and and people are seeing through it. They're just like that. You realize that's child abuse. Because you're supposed to be the adult. You're supposed to be the guy that stands in front of that child and takes the bullet, takes the arrow, and defends them with every single bit of your body and person. You don't throw them up there as a shield.
I must say, it's nice to talk to someone who's properly here, that is. Not just a voice in my head.
Couldn't get a single word answers from Jeremy Hales. He's trying to use the colors to direct the judge.
Said that out loud, did I? Oh,
and
I know how that must sound.
Common fucking lawyer tactics. And the fact that he's finally
exactly that.
Just shows
voices, really.
It shows how scared he
more
is.
Than one.
He is running.
Well, now, you really are. Usually, you see, the voices tell me when someone's coming.
Not defend his client. He's made it very clear to everybody. Right there. You deserve more stars, sir. But naked. I love that name. It's awesome.
No, wait. I'm not evil.
This is typical.
Just hear me out, please. It's like this.
Here he is.
They chatter away.
Now you have to
the
remember
voices
the
in my
last
head.
one was
Not all the time, but a lot of it.
Start to throw this
Sometimes
stuff up there
they're only
October
whispers.
15th. Threat of sanctions.
Other times, not often. It's like they're standing right next to me.
Dear Mr. Manskin, now the court has ruled against your position on discovery. Are you available for a Zoom phone conference with Attorney Shockett regarding Rule 26 discovery? And if so,
hard to make out most of the time, but
within the next 10
all the
days,
times
you're available.
They whisper about places,
48 hours, or you will force
hidden,
us
secret places.
Against you.
Sometimes I think they're whispering from such places.
Meeting report
Oh, man.
11,
Aren't they? Listening to
Thank you.
Lord, I shouldn't be telling you this.
Let's see. When is
It could make them angry.
That's not a threat, but that's pointing out what you do, what they're having.
Yes. Thank you. And then it goes on. Well, on October 17th, 2 days later,
Perhaps if you can find it and open it.
Dear Mr. Mansky,
I used to
thank
work
you for
these mines.
responding.
The biggest one,
The
the boffins took over when they arrived and started building something inside. Now, what did they call the place?
Noted.
Oh,
This will be shown
but yet,
in any event the deadline.
interchange.
26
That would it.
November 5th.
And I've heard the voices say that
I've
name.
asked you several
I'm sure I
times,
have.
and you have
They closed up the old mine entrance, but I suppose they must have hidden a new one elsewhere. Mayhap the voices are ghosts trapped
I don't see
inside.
a threat for sanctions
Mayhap
there.
opening a way to them will make the voices happy. Mayhap they'll leave me alone then.
It seems to me that from October 15th to October 17th, that she's reached out to multiple
You be
times,
careful out there.
and he's he's refusing to even answer emails regarding him inappropriately contacting their expert witness. So he's been contacting their expert witness?
This dude is such a fucking story for a little fuck. He get offended or take it as a threat if somebody asks him if he wanted more white rice. Oh my God, you being racist or whatever. I mean, they throw that shit around all the fucking time too. Every fucking thing is a threat, or racist or whatever.
Well, it's amazing. No, I'm looking at this, and he's saying that her refusals to even answer emails regarding him. So he's been contacting their expert witness. So he's reaching out and contacting their expert witness. That's inappropriate.
Well, it's inappropriate in what he did to
Jar.
I can't keep names. Yeah, going to employers.
Yeah.
And that alone. It's hard to really lay it. It would definitely be interesting to go through each piece of evidence or document that has been filed, lay out the amount of inappropriate, actual, real inappropriate behavior. It would be astounding. It would be astounding.
I don't have enough time in my life to do
This
all that.
motherfucker wouldn't know ethics if a cat danced across his face and fixed it.
Well, Janice explains it perfectly here. Juice foreskin only hears what he wants to hear. It might be the loose flap of skin that he has strapped around his head. What he wants to hear when someone talks, he listens to respond, not for understanding. Sarah Boone